Okay, now that we've remembered how to jump, we're going to move on.
Okay, who now?
Somebody you haven't played, which leaves 3 characters.
Hip Hop Kido.
Hip Hop Kido!
Hibby to the hibbity, you don't stop.
Hip Hop, Hibbit to the Hobbit. Frodo's got the ring and he don't stop rocking.
Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo Baggins, hero of the old frontier.
There you go.
Oh.
Fucking Gollum.
Fucking Gollum.
Fucking Gollum.
Smeagol's a piece of shit.
Frodo of the 9 fingers.
And the ring of doom. No, you know what song's better than that? Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Where
there's a whip,
we don't wanna
go to war today. But the Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left, right. Fucking A.
A crack on the back says
we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more.
Cause
We
are
the slaves of the Dark Lord.
Left, right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Once I left a message on our friend Stefan's machine, changed those words around a little bit to represent the job that we had both worked at.
Oh, fuck.
It fit pretty well.
It did.
It fit pretty well. The Lord on the Lash said we were gonna fucking work all day and night and more.
Yeah, it's true.
But we were the slaves of the Dark Lord. And then I
True facts.
inserted the Dark Lord's name.
That, those songs, those lyrics are from the Rankin Bass semi-sequel to their awesome Hobbit movie I've talked about before. Return of the King. Funny story. In the 70s, after they did the 77 Hobbit cartoon, Ralph Bakshi, the animator, he got the rights to do Lord of the Rings. He was going to do Lord of the Rings movies, and he did. He finally found a studio that would let him make the movie he wanted, be true to the books, and to his credit, Bakshi was very adamant about being as true and as literal to the books, like verbatim as he could, and he did for the most part, except for like Legolas showing up to save him in the forest instead of Glorfindel. Always gets glossed over in every
Glorfindel.
In every single adaptation. Glorfindel gets forgotten, but
we'll fix that.
Well, we will with our game. But so Bakshi, Ralph Bakshi, animate director of Fritz the Cat and fucking American Pop, Wizards, Fire and Ice, bunch of good stuff. That's my favorite movie of his. Is Lord of the Rings, and honestly, here's the problem. He only made the first half of the trilogy. His Lord of the Rings film only covers up till the end of the Two Towers battle, and in the Helm's Deep, in the deep, and he wanted the studio to call it Lord of the Rings Part 1 because Jesus Christ.
He's made of fucking SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, not even the good kind with the fucking meatballs. Oh, I forgot. Mastodon!
Oh, yeah.
No.
We fucking forgot Saber-Tooth Tiger.
No, I did that. I said,
Okay,
Saber-Tooth Tiger!
You better have. I eat fucking SpaghettiOs without cooking them. I just eat them out of the can.
But with meatballs, though, right?
Not necessarily.
Here's the thing. Without meatballs, they taste fucking bland.
I like bland sometimes. I'm a bland kind of guy.
What a piece of shit. Anyways, Lord of the Rings. So Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, he wanted the studio to call the movie Lord of the Rings Part 1 because he had every intention of making Part 2 and finishing the other part of Two Towers and Return of the King. But the studio didn't want to do that. They're like, no, just going to call it Lord of the Rings. And he said if you do that, fans of the books are going to go in there expecting the movie to be the entire trilogy, and it's not going to be. When it ends after Helm's Deep, they're going to be like, what the fuck? And that's exactly what happened. Like, fans loved it. Fans loved Bakshi's Lord of the Rings. So much so that Peter Jackson actually based his Lord of the Rings movies visually. Certain parts, like Aragorn sitting in the the Prancing Pony. Is that the
the
Prancing Pony? There were certain visual elements that he copied directly out of Bakshi's book, out of his playbook from his movie. But the movie didn't do great because perhaps they didn't call it Part 1. And so what happened is Bakshi said, fuck it. Because he was one of those anti-establishment guys anyway. He didn't like working with the Hollywood system, you know. And so he never made a Part 2. He never finished it. And so in the interim, Ralph Rankin Bass couldn't get the rights to make Fellowship of the Ring or the Two Towers, which I really wish they had. I wish that they both, in a perfect world, Bakshi would have made 2 parts to his movies, and Rankin Bass would have been able to do the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy in TV films. That would have been amazing. What they did have, because Bakshi didn't cover it, was Return of the King. So they decided in 1980 to make a Return of the King thing. And since they didn't have the rights to do the first 2 books, they kind of had to make it seem as if their Return of the King movie was a direct sequel to their Hobbit movie, which was rough. But to their credit, just like their Hobbit movie, and I didn't realize this fully until I went back last year and reread the Lord of the Rings trilogy, because I hadn't read that since I was a kid, and so
nerd.
Shut the fuck up. And my biggest exposure to the was Peter Jackson's movies, which I do still like. However, going back and watching that Return of the King, or reading the books, and then going back and watching the Return of the King Rankin Bass TV movie, it was super. Aside from the like song parts that they added in, the book was super accurate, or the cartoon was super accurate to the book, to the point where there was a lot of lines of dialogue in there that were just verbatim what they said in the book. And that was good. It was fucking awesome. So, if you've never seen the Rankin Bass 1977 Hobbit or the 1980 Return of the King cartoons, go fucking find them and watch them. Rent them, buy them, find them on the side of the road. Whatever you have to do, watch them. Because to me, as a lifelong Lord of the Rings fan, those are the definitive, those are the best adaptations we've gotten so far. I'm gonna shut up for a second.
Just real talk, there was a part in the middle of that where I had to wall jump back and forth up a fucking column.
Yeah.
That should have come before the previous episode, because it's real obvious there.
That teaches you how to do it.
Yeah, well, at the very least, it's like, hey, there's something you're missing. You're gonna have to fucking do something. And I would have just jumped at the wall.
It's like that's why this company isn't Nintendo. Because when Nintendo made Super Metroid, even though the wall jump in that is tricky,
it's a fucking nightmare mode.
It is, but at least they have a part where the little the little creature shows you that you can do it, and you're like, oh fuck, okay. You still have to figure out how to do it, but he shows you can.
And it's fucking rough.
It is. You want to know why it's rough?
I don't.
Because they were unintuitive about it. It's the only game I can think of where you can wall jump like that, where you specifically have to hold. You have to jump into the wall and hold the opposite direction and hit jump.
I feel like...
So it's this weird timing, this cadence that you have to get into, where you're like left, right, left, right, left, right to jump, you know?
Was like one of the Strider games I thought did that, like the NES Strider.
I didn't play enough of that to know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either, but that's what I hear.
That's what he's heard.
Okay, it's time for this.
It's Igor. It's Igor.
No, it's Igor.
Oh. Frankenstein. Froderick Frankenstein.
This guy's a fucking asshole, Frankenstein. I'll tell you that much.
By the way...
These are assholes. These aren't eyeballs.
Jesus, those are all... He's firing assholes at you. Yeah, look at all the life he's not taking off at you.
I think I actually have a life bar on top of my life bar. So he gets... By all means, he is fucking me up. Don't worry.
Okay. Jeez, he's Igoring you. My favorite movie of all time, and it's changed over the years, but in my old age, in my adult old age, like let's say within the last 5 or 6 years easily, my favorite movie of all time is settled. Like my top 10 are honestly pretty settled. Number one favorite movie of all time.
Let's just do a bomb real quick.
Boom.
See if that's what it looks like.
Mastodon. Number one favorite movie of all time for me is Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein, starring Gene Wilder. That is one of the best movies ever made. And to me, it's my favorite because it's pretty flawless. It's a perfect mixture of horror, comedy, adventure, whatever, mystery. It's got elements of all that, and it works so fucking well because Gene Wilder wrote it. Him and Mel Brooks worked on it together. It's actually the only Mel Brooks directed film where he doesn't appear on camera at all. It's good. Corey, I know you gotta rack the brain, but do you have like a candidate at least for top favorite movie of all time?